Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this live. This is the 4th episode of Tjhoko's Christmas, Christmas Craft Marathon. So I'm doing the last one. As you have, if you've been watching the others, you know that the other ladies, the previous 3 episodes, provided us with fantastic creations and lots of inspiration for Christmas. So today I'm going to be doing, first of all, I think I should introduce myself because this is my first live with Tjhoko. So my name is Tanya, I'm from Pretoria, and I'm the artist and owner behind Brushed Up. And I'm a very, very proud ambassador for the Tjhoko brand. It's a fabulous brand. They have everything anybody could ever wish for to create amazing, amazing, amazing creative projects, anything you can think of. You look on their website, everything is there. It is the most awesome product. And I absolutely love Tjhoko. As you can see, I'm fiddling with a brand new paintbrush that I was sent by Tjhoko for my project today. And I have a few others. I love the feeling of a new paintbrush. Anyway, I think we need to get into this because I'm not going to only be doing one project. I'm going to be doing 3 projects, but they're all little projects, so you are able to do them easily. They're not very, very difficult, but the process obviously is paint, allowing paint to dry, and then going on to the next step. And today is a very rainy day in Pretoria, so I must apologize in advance, but I'm probably going to have to use the hairdryer. But it'll just be a short blast just to get things relatively dry so that I can go on to the next step to show you exactly how to do it. So excuse the noise, it'll be worth it because then we'll be able to see what I want to do. I'm going to be doing 3 different projects. They are themed the same. They are Christmas trees and a Christmas angel. Now what I have is I have pieces of pine board. As you can see, raw pine board. I went to my local hardware and they were very, very kind. And what they did was they looked for offcuts and then they cut them to size for me at a nominal price. So these were just lying around on the floor and now they're going to become something beautiful. I'm going to Tjhoko them. So I have done prep in advance, but I want to show you how, when I apply the paint onto pine, how beautiful and smooth it goes on. So what I have done in advance, obviously, because of time constraints, I have painted the back. This is the new color Wild. It is a green. It is the most, no, this is not Wild. My apologies. I want to show you Wild. This is Wild. It's the most beautiful forest green. And it's one of Tjhoko's new colors. Absolutely love it. Perfect for Christmas. So now what I'm going to show you is when we apply it. As you can see, there's the raw pine. One doesn't have to prepare anything because it's wood. It hasn't been varnished or painted before. So all you do is you give it a light sand and then you paint. So let's begin. So this is the Wild. I have used a lot of it, so I am going to be using it out of the bottle, which one should not do because it contaminates your paint. But I've got very little left, so it doesn't really matter. And I use my paints very often. So it's a case of, as Trish always says, do as I say, not as I do. Anyway, so here, let's start. I dab it in. Don't take too much. And what I do, you just paint. Can you see how beautifully this paint goes on? Take a little bit more. And look at that coverage and look at the magnificent green color. And look how fabulously it covers. So, and for this, it's a dark color. It's got great coverage. One doesn't need to do 2 coats, but we'll have a look at it and see what it looks like when it's dry. But I am going to work over this. This is just a base coat. Okay. My paintbrush aside. I'm now going to put this aside to dry. If it's not dry when I come back to it, I'm going to have to give it a blast with the hairdryer. Right. Next one I'm going to be working on, this is going to be a little Christmas tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decoupage on it, and I'm going to use this fabulous decoupage paper. This is an offcut that I have. Please excuse the noise in the background. We have a dog who's drinking his water. It's raining outside and he can't be outside. He's very old. And I'm going to decoupage this. But as you can see, I want this design to show, to really be highlighted. So what one needs to do is, underneath decoupage paper, you have to use a very light color. So I'm going to be using David. The back of the little Christmas tree is going to get a different, so the trees are going to be a pattern there, decoupage there, stenciling, you'll see as we go along. So this one I'm going to paint first with David, because that is a light color. So let me find my David. And there is I have a lot of David left. So what I'm going to do is I am going to decant some. I'm not going to dip into the bottle so that I don't contaminate. There we go. I am going to be using it again. Whatever's left, one puts back into a different container. You don't contaminate the paint, but you can use it. And there we go. How beautifully that goes on. And once again, you just sand this lightly before you paint, mainly so that you don't have splinters, when you're handling it afterwards, because it is wood. Okay, that looks like a pretty good coverage. I'll put that one aside. Now for this one, put my glasses on. For this one, I'm going to be making an angel, and I want it to be white. As you see, I have already done that side, and it's white. You can see that David is definitely not white, it's off. It's a cream color, but it's a beautiful color. It's a warm color, but I want this one to be white. So what I'm going to do is, same process. I'm going to take my cloud. Well, in fact, what I'm going to do is, let me show you. If you want, white is a color that you have to put a lot of layers, or more layers, shall I say, because it is transparent. It's a paint that doesn't have very strong pigment. So if you put a base color first, a slightly darker base color, and I'm going to use the same one. I just dipped it into the bottle. I should have dipped it there. So you first put the David down. See how easily it's going on and beautifully. So you first put the David on, and then after this is dried, you go back and you put a coat of cloud white. So instead of doing 4 coats of cloud white, you literally just do this, and maybe, well, depending on the coverage, you can decide whether you would like to do another layer or not. But this should be fine because it is going to be covered again with the white. So there we go. Just get into the grooves. And I'll put that one aside. As you can see, I painted the back, pre-painted that, and you can see the white. And here you can see the undercoat of David. It's not as white. It's definitely a cream color. Okay, so now what I want to do is, I first want to do the decoupage, because I'd like to show you, this one will take more time to dry, but what I need to do is, unfortunately now I'm going to need to quickly give it a blast with a hairdryer. So that is now under the table, I think somewhere. Where did I put it? Apologies. Here we go. Just going to quickly that. I'm going to keep these two. Okay. The place when you use the hairdryer because it's extremely irritating. So this is going to be the angel. So while it's drying just a little bit longer, I want to show you what I decided to do. I have some hessian and I decided I'm going to make her some wings. So I took the hessian, and this is a very clever trick that one can do using clear glaze. Hessian frays, so when you cut it, it's going to fray. So prevent it from fraying, what you need to do is take your hessian, you put it down, you take your clear glaze, which is this one, and you paint a layer. I've already done it because of drying time, and you paint a layer over it, turn it over, paint another layer, let it dry. Then I took a template and I put it, and this is actually the brown paper that comes in this when your stencils arrive. Put it behind, and I drew a little template, as you can see there. Then I took my template and I put it over the square of hessian, and I took a pencil and I drew the outline, and then I took a pair of scissors and I cut it. Beautiful, and it gives it more body. Look at that. It's not as floppy. And there you have a beautiful template. And now I have a beautiful piece of hessian. It's going to be the backing on the angel, and I'm going to stencil on it as well. And as you can see, when I'm pulling it, it doesn't fray, which is fantastic. Right, so I'm going to put that aside now. Now I want to have a look at this, see if it's dry enough. It still needs to dry, but it's very damp outside today. I'm going to use the hairdryer just one more time. Apologies. Because wood is live, it's really thirsty and it absorbs the paint. There we go. It's drying very nicely now. That one needs a little bit of time. I'm going to work on this one, and what I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm going to be doing stenciling. So because it's Christmas, I thought, well, we need to have stencils that are Christmas themed, that give the Christmas effect. One can always look at stencils and decide what you want to use if you don't have specific stencils for Christmas. So what I decided to do is I took a stencil. Looks like that one. It's a beautiful stencil. And that looks almost like Christmas decorations. Perhaps little poinsettias if you use your imagination. Use that one there. And then the other one that I'm going to use is this one, which will give the effect of Christmas lights. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something with the metallics. Okay. I'm going to take a metallic color. I'm using the Alice Gold, and I'm going to use Charm Silver. Where did she disappear to? And I'm going to use Charm Silver. Now with metallics, I have to be stirred very, very well. You have to get the pigments, which settle to the bottom. You have to stir it in to the into whatever this compound is that is suspended into. Or that's suspended in. So you bring it up. You can see. And then you bring it up. And then once you see that it has a consistency where it all looks the same. You know that it's ready to use. Right. So we'll put that aside over there. And what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to show you. When you take a paintbrush and you use metallics, it can leave streaks and marks. So I decided to try something and it worked fantastically well. I'm going to roll the metallic on. So there is gold one and the silver one. I'm actually going to use the gold one first. The gold one takes a little bit longer to dry. I do have others that I've prepared, but I want to show you how it actually works. So let's give this a good stir. You see that? Looking better. There we go. And you can feel it. When you dig into the bottle, you can feel this. It's clumpy at the bottom and eventually it starts giving. There, that looks right. Okay, let me put that there. Take that. So what I do is I pour this metallic out. Little cloth, just wipe that. Take the roller, pick up the metallic paint. Have a look at the side that we painted. This side's dry. It's dry. And we start rolling. Can you see how that goes? Look at, I didn't even use a lot, as you can see, but look at how fantastic a metallic paint can be rolled with this foam roller. So you just roll it nice and evenly. There we go. And you just try, look in the light and see that it isn't too streaky. You see that? That's really beautiful. So that just needs to dry before the next step. So I'll put that aside. And then I'm going to take the one that I started doing the angel. That's dry. So what I want to do with this one is I want to use stencil of Paris. And I want to do some raised stenciling on it. This is going to be, in effect, the angel's little, her dress. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I did paint the back, she's white. So now, take the stencil that I'm going to use, which is this one. It's a large stencil, and it will cover the whole area. Just get it out. As you can see, I have used it a lot. It's a beautiful stencil. So now you take your stencil, position it, have a look and see where, it doesn't really matter, but you just position it. I'd like to get that effect at the top. There you go. Using the stencil of Paris. And what I do is I take, I think this is called a spackle scraper, and you can buy it from Tjhoko online. It's very thin. And when you scrape the stencil of Paris on, it creates a beautiful even layer. So what I do is I take a spatula, or shall I say a scraper, and I scrape, I apply some, hold it down here, start at the top, and you just pull it down. With that. And it covers beautifully. And then and make sure you go to the edges. Very often skip the edges. You go right to the edge. Take some more stencil of Paris. And when you do this, then you're not wasting. You're not putting too much onto your project either. It's a bit noisy. And I think one more should do it. Let's have a look here. There we go. Perfect. And I'm just doing the edges now. The starting process here is just showing you how to do it. I have prepared others because stencil of Paris does take a long time to dry. I like my stencil of Paris to dry for, well, overnight if possible. I see I've missed a little spot there and I don't want to have to come back and do that. So there we go. And it's just slightly raised. One can always put more stencil of Paris on if you want it to be more raised. And then you just pop it up, put the stencil aside, take your finger and wipe down the edge where you see the stencil of Paris is sticking out. And of course, I would now, that's my hair. I should tie my hair up. And I want to show you how beautiful that is. That's really, really, and even. I don't know if you can see, it's evenly applied. So, all right, going to put this one aside now. That's just wait, I'm going to put it really aside. I'm out of frame now, I apologize. Right, now we want to go on to this one. I rolled the silver on the gold, which is Ali's gold, onto the side. Now I'm feeling to see how dry it is. It's still a little bit sticky. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll just quickly pop the hairdryer, unfortunately, onto it again. Because I apologize for the hair drying, but the weather is not playing along with us, and what I am using, it definitely needs to be dry. Right. So now we have put the dark color, which is this magnificent wild, and as a base coat. Why we do that with metallics is the darker the base coat, the more the metallics shine. So with the wild, the gold is shining. Now I looked at it and I thought, okay, what can I do? I want to create something on this that's going to have a Christmas tree effect. So I thought, right, this one is very pretty. Looks like leaves. So what we do is we position it. Let's take it this way. I position it. Because you see there is still a portion at the top where I'll have to flip the stencil over and finish it off. Right. Now we're going to stencil. Okay, I'm going to put this all out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm once again going to use wild on the green. So the dark against the gold is going to create a fabulous contrast. So take my trusted stencil brush. It's very used, but it's beautiful. It's a Tjhoko brush. It's soft and it works like magic. So I'm taking the wild and I dip my, I'm a very messy worker. Dip it in, and this, people have different ways of stenciling. You find your own way. This is what I do. I give it a good, so that the brush has a lot of paint, but then I take it off. and you can test it. You see it's still coming off. You don't need more than that. And what I do is, because I don't want to go over this line at the top, I use some painter's tape, and I'm just going to put a little piece there. Yeah, right, a little bit more. Wipe it off, and you start stenciling. Right. So the stenciling is soft, not hard, round circular motion, starting with a little bit of paint. And we just start. And we start going around and around and around. And you will see that I picked up hardly any paint. And this, look at the coverage. I'm nearly halfway and I haven't even gone back for more paint. It's because I'm using a quality brush. There are many stencil brushes out there. But the quality of your tools is also going to determine the quality of your work. So, investing in good tools, you can never go wrong. I'm still going. There's still paint coming off. And I'm still going. Look at that. I just wanted to show you this. Pick up a little bit more, but really get rid of a lot of it. Lightly you start. Again, like I've been doing, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, move the stencil a bit, but that's not a problem, because I think, as Salvador Dali said, if you are chasing perfection, don't worry about that, because you're never going to attain it. So I just pick it up and have a quick little look. There we go. Now, in some areas I see on the end I need a little bit more. I'll just go back, work in a little bit more. Be patient when one does this. Rather take less paint when you start, that you get a better definition. And look at that. Take the stencil off. Can you see that? Isn't that fantastic? Look at that. There's your gold Christmas tree with the most beautiful design. Looks like leaves. Now what you do is, you want to complete the top, obviously. Take your stencil, you look at how you put it down. Then you flip it. And you have a look at the design underneath, and there we go. You match it. And as best as you can, you try and match. There we go. I think I've matched it there. I just hold it here. Pick up once again a little bit. This is my bottle that I'm going to be finishing soon. I have a project that there we go. Lift it up. Can you see that? And can you see the beautiful shimmer of the gold? Lovely. Right, I'm going to put this aside, out of frame for the moment, because they are wet. And I'm going to take this stencil, that stencil, which I'll show you what I did with this one. And I'm going to show you the finished ones here. So this is the one that I prepared. So, as you can see, I've just shown you how to do that. And here's the gold. Now on the reverse side, what I did was, I first painted, as I did earlier, I painted it with wild. And then I took this stencil, which is this one here, And to me, it looked like Christmas lights. So I thought, gosh, this will really look nice if it is done with silver. So I thought, let me try that and see what it looks like. So what I did was, you've got to remember that whatever you are seeing on the stencil is going to be the color underneath. So I wanted it to be silver. So once again, I first painted the wild, then I rolled silver, just like I did with the Ali's Gold. I rolled the charm silver over it with a roller, let it dry, and then I took this stencil, I placed the stencil as I did with the other one, and then I stenciled with wild again. So what happened was it revealed the silver, and you can see that is what. So I'm not going to do that now because I have done the reverse side and you did see how I did that, but I'm not going to do that now because of time constraints. But as you can see, that is the one Christmas tree. So it stands beautifully. So there's one Christmas tree complete. Okay, I'll put that aside for now. Now I want to show you the stenciling on my angel. So let's put that aside. As I said, I am a messy worker, so please excuse me. I just have to, I can't find the lid for this one. Oh, here it is. I just don't want to knock anything over and then we have a big mess. Right, now this is the one I just want to show you. Sorry, I'm out of screen again. This is the one that I just used the stencil of Paris on. Okay, here is one slightly different stencil that I've already prepared, and it's dry, so I can work on it now. Otherwise, we will be here waiting forever for things to dry. Right, so what I want to do with this one is show you the angel wings. What have I done with the angel wings, Liam? Liam is my cameraman this evening. He so kindly agreed to be here to help me because I am technologically challenged. And we did have a bit of a challenge trying to get everything set up. So thank you, Liam. I really appreciate your assistance. Right, people, now, I told you about the Hessian, I told you that I made a template and I cut the wings, and this is what we're going to do now. We're going to give this little angel some wings, but we're going to stencil on Hessian. Okay, so decide what pattern are we going to use. I think we should use, let me have a look. I like perhaps the one that we used earlier. No, I don't think that one. Let's see. Perhaps. Sorry, people, I've just got to find. Yes, this one is a pretty one. Let's use this one. I've got too many stencils. I have a stencil fetish and I can never get enough of the stencils. So we'll give her this pretty look. Right. So put the stencil down. Take a stencil brush. That out of the way. And we're going to stencil it in David, which is that one. In fact, I have David over here. So all I need to do is clean stencil brush, pick up the David as I showed you with the previous stenciling, and really work it into the stencil brush, but then work it off. Work it off, work it off, work it off. Have a look, there's a lot of paint. Excuse me. Nose is itchy. Here we start. And we do the same thing Gently and slowly, gentle circular motions, we work the paint off onto the hessian. So we're going to do this. And the hessian is very forgiving. It absorbs the paint. So as you're going along, you can lift it and have a look and see what you're doing. And it won't create a problem. We carry on doing this. So I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. If you want to have more coverage, you just pick up more paint and you go over it again. Can you see that? It's starting to form there. And it really is going to look stunning. So I'm not going to do the whole thing because I have prepared one, as I say, because of time constraints. But that is stenciling on hessian. It's as easy as that. Here's the one that I did prepare. Can you see that? So I did it on both sides because when I attach it to the angel, her wings are going to show, and then of course at the back it's neatly finished. Because like Veronica said yesterday, she doesn't like her products when they're turned over or looked at underneath or from the side to be unfinished. And I'm pretty much the same. So that will finish that. That will be beautiful. So that one I'm going to put over here. Then, right, this is the one that I want to do. This is the little baby Christmas tree. I painted the back already. Then I painted that. I showed you in David. It's a little bit wet here, but I think it should be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of, where did I put it? I had it right here a minute ago. Oh my word, Liam, do you know where it went? It is a piece of decoupage paper. I hope the dog hasn't eaten it. What happened to it? This is mystery. Isn't it amazing when you're working with something and you have it right in front of you and suddenly it's disappeared? No, that's a serviette, my boy. Thank you. I don't know. I must have. It's just bizarre. Can you find it? Is it under the table? Are you eating it, Spock? Sorry, people. I'm really now starting to faff. But I wanted to. If I can't find it, I will show you because I have prepared one. It'll probably pop up. It'll probably pop up now. Once. Anyway, I'll forget about that because I want to show you what I did. I had a piece and I was going to show you, but I actually have prepared one. And this is what it looks like. I decoupaged this. In other words, I took that piece of paper, beautiful decoupage paper, which is left over from one of the projects I did, and I decoupaged it onto the David. And this is the result. What you do is, you take your clear glaze. This is how I do it. Take the clear glaze, I put a layer of clear glaze, take the paper, lay it over. It must overlap. I lay it over. I then take a good amount of clear glaze on a brush and I brush it in. And then I sometimes even use my hand. And I push it down. Then I leave it to dry. You have to leave it to dry because what you do to get this beautiful smooth edge is you take, Liam's just shown it to me. It's on the floor behind me. Anyway, let me carry on explaining. You take a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block. Just a time minute. 20 minutes left. Okay, I've got 20 minutes left. So I'm just going to show you. So imagine I've decoupaged it, it's dry. You take your sanding block and you simply sand down at a 45-degree angle. And what happens is you land up with a beautiful edge. And that's what I did there. Okay. Then on the reverse side, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stencil, once again, in a blink color, which is going to be charm silver, seeing as it is Christmas. Another beautiful Tjhoko stencil. Look at that. And I thought, gosh, one can adapt that into a Christmas theme. So I place it, just place it as you wish. Kind of place it in the center like that. Take my stencil brush, another stencil brush, and we're going to work with charm silver. So take that, take a little bit of charm silver, and I'm actually just going to take some. Of course, you have to give it a good stir again because it does settle very, very quickly. And we want it to be, all the particles to be suspended so that you get a beautiful, brilliant silver effect. Put a little bit on there, to the side. Take the stencil brush. Once again, move my hair. I should have tied my hair up. You see, as you go, you realize there's still a lot of silver on there. Hold it down, circular motion, very lightly. There's hardly any pressure, very lightly. I stencil onto this. The color that I first used as a base coat underneath is Sheriff's Stone, which really is a lovely color when you're using metallics, because the metallics then shine through beautifully. I try and hold it so that I don't put my fingers into the areas that I've actually stenciled. And as I say, if you want it to be more brilliant, you just keep adding a little bit more paint, pick up charm silver, and there we go. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and once again I have the most fantastic stencil brush. The softer the stencil brush, the better it will work, and Tjhoko has the best stencil brushes I've ever used. Right, lift that up, and look how beautiful that is. So that's going to be the reverse side of the decoupaged side. Isn't that stunning? Works so well. So now we have, let me just clear this a little bit, because now it's becoming chaotic. But I did want to do the projects to show you all the different techniques you can do and the different products that Tjhoko has to help you create them. I'm going to take that layer off, put that into the bin there. Now I'm going to bring forward what I've done. Metallic Christmas tree, both sides. Put that one there. Little baby Christmas tree with the decoupage and the stenciling on the back. And then that beautiful grey stenciling on the angel and white at the back, where I'm going to, because this is going to be attached to the back. So I think what I should do now, put my glue gun on. I can get rid of the horrible hair dryer. Switch on the glue gun, and I'm going to attach it so that we can hopefully see the final products, because time is starting to run away. Okay, so we have that one, and now we have this lady. Okay, so let's have a look at her. So while we're waiting for this to heat up, I'm going to show you what I decided to do for the bases. So seeing as Tjhoko was all about upcycling, recycling, reusing, people who craft like me, we have a wealth of crafting stuff, and we all look like hoarders, don't we? Well, I certainly do. I look like a crafting hoarder, but I do use it. So I go in and I think, gosh, what am I doing today? I'm doing this project. What can I use? And I save everything. We don't throw anything away. So this is an upcycle base for my baby Christmas tree. It's a tuna can painted with wild. And this is just Christmas embellishment. And I used the glue gun to attach it. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see it? Or like that. And they sit very well. If one wishes, one could glue it on. You could glue gun it on. You could use the glue gun. Then for the angel, I don't know what this is and where it's from, but I liked it and I thought, gosh, I can definitely use that. Once we stuck that on, I'll show you. She can sit on that. It will look really, really pretty. And then for the bigger Christmas tree, another tin painted in wild with a ribbon attached. Table underneath isn't. Got that. Or, isn't that beautiful? And I still have a little surprise at the end because I have some embellishments that I'm going to add. And I want to show you, while I was practicing on a piece of wood, offcut, can you see how beautiful that is? Where shall I? The cameraman's directing me. I used stencil of Paris and then I sprinkled glitter. And can you see the effect? The glitter actually stuck onto the stencil of Paris, so that when the stencil of Paris dried, all I did was I took a brush and I flicked off the excess, and what was left behind was stuck onto the stencil of Paris. Isn't that magnificent? So there's another thing that one can do. The ideas are absolutely endless. They really are. Right, let's have a look at the glue gun and see if this is going to glue. Okay. I'm just going to dab. I'm going to start. Let me just have a look now. I'm going to put her wings on. Okay, I'm going to put her dress and her wings. I think we're going to do it that way. Just going to put a little bit of glue on top because I'm going to start. I want to make sure that I get it. Oh, let me move that. Don't burn yourself with a glue gun. I've done that many times, most unpleasant. Run the glue down the side and across the bottom. Push it down. Do the same on this side. Push it down. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? So, where is my angels? Got to give her a head. Just took a Christmas decoration and gave her a head. Isn't she lovely? So what I also did, I thought what would be quite nice to highlight, if you can see that, the raised stenciling on her dress. I dry brushed the metallics, the gold and the silver. And it really, it was an idea that occurred to me just before the live. And I thought, let me do that, and I really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish her off, and then I will post photos onto the Tjhoko Creations group of her when she's finished with her pretty little dress. So we have that one, and we have, where's the other one? What did I do with it? There it is, the big one. Move that back. This table underneath is a little bit uneven. So if you can see, I can't really see from the front what I'm doing. So now I have embellishments. So what I did was I thought, let me put a little few embellishments on them. I took string. We all have these little beads, boxes of beads. And I thought, gosh, little angel, let me embellish her with this. So this is just an added touch. You don't have to do it. But I always think it's quite nice just to add something of interest. So I added that. And there, look there. I think that's really pretty. And I thought for the Christmas tree, the big Christmas tree, one can do the same. Strung the beads. Can you see this, Liam? Are they in frame? I can't see. And then I took the little one. I did the same. I was just using up what I had in my craft room. And there we have that. Also, I had some stars, which I thought would look really pretty. So I took the stars, put them onto a piece of string, and one can do the same thing. So perhaps let me do it this way, and I'll turn it around. Then you can have a look at what that side would look like. You can do, excuse the dog, he's deaf and he doesn't realize that he's making a noise. He's trying to talk. He's obviously saying he's enjoying the live. And that, can you see that one? So there are lots of variations. Go into your crafting boxes and haul out your stash. As my friend says, I have an arsenal of stuff. I have an arsenal of serviettes. Whenever she needs, she says, hey, I need, go and have a look. And inevitably I do find. So if you want to be really, really fancy, I found something. Everybody has these that are used in your bottles. Bottle lights. And I thought, what about, you want to be really clever, you can just wrap it. I'm not doing it very neatly, but can you see the effect that you can create? So that gives it a bit more Christmas bling. So just be creative and think about what you have, what you can use, what you can do, and be original. One must remember that no idea is a new idea. If you have an idea and you go onto Pinterest, you're going to see your idea there, and there are going to be lots of examples. What you need to do with ideas, you need to look at them as inspiration for your own. So if you have an idea, you look at it and you say, how can I make that more personal to who I am? And so you create your own art. And that's what I try and do. These ideas have been thought of before. These are not unique ideas, but I try and create them in a way that they become more personal, not personable, personal to me. And in creating them, it's very satisfying and it's therapeutic and it's fabulous. So those are the little Christmas decor angels and trees. So I'm going to quickly remove them because I want to show you one more thing before we finish. I'm out of frame, just want to put these out of the way. I will make a pretty display and I will post it. So you can have another look. I know it's very quick. Things are rushed during lives. We only have so much time. So another thing I was doing with the hessian is this, which is a really, really nice idea. I took the hessian, let's move that, and I did the same thing. I laid out the hessian and then I took the clear glaze Painted a layer of clear glaze over the Hessian. And I just want to show you the others. Here they are. I cut that shape. And it won't fray, once again, as I said, because it had the clear glaze put onto it. And that's very easy. You just dip it into the clear glaze and you literally do that, and you let it dry. And it dries beautifully. It doesn't make striations. And then I took another piece, I cut a square, I frayed the edges. And once again, I took the clear glaze, same process, and let it dry. So here we have two that have been clear glazed. After they were clear glazed and dry, Christmas serviettes, there are so many around. You can go and find any beautiful Christmas serviette you like and make yourself a placemat. Can you see that? Look how beautiful that placemat looks. That serviette. Look at that. And somehow the serviette seems to mesh into the Hessian, because look what I'm going to do. Hasn't come off, hasn't wrinkled. You can't scratch it off. So what you do is, and I know now the old time constraints, as I keep saying, but I'm going to demonstrate. I quickly want to show you another one where I used the metallic silver. Look at the metallic silver, how beautifully the metallic silver shows up on the Hessian. What's the dog doing? It's joining in. And that's a Christmas serviette that I did cut out. That I cut out and put on. This is these Hessian ones that I cut the rounds. Took my stencils and created placemats or little center mats for your table. And the colors I used here are wild and the most fantastic red called Carpsinoy. It's a new color. It's absolutely magnificent. This color is a winner for Christmas and just a beautiful color. And I used that with a bit of Intuck, which is also a new color, and a bit of, it wasn't cloud white, it was David. So that gives you the tonal variations. So there are many, many, many things that one can do. How much time do we still have left? I have 5 minutes. So I think I'm going to have to say goodbye. But what I am going to do, I'm doing a huge table runner. And I'm going to be doing it in stenciling. So what I'm going to do is, I will post it when it's finished so that you can see. These are just small little examples of things that you can do. So if we clear the table properly in the last 5 minutes, you'll be able to see. Is it cleared, Liam? Am I clear here? Mm-hmm. I just want to clear the table of all the distractions that happen as I say, I'm a messy painter. I somehow land up with everything all over the place. I always plan to paint neatly, but that never happens. So, quickly, let's run through this again. Take those away. Let's get a good idea. A beautiful placemat. Another beautiful placemat. That's decoupaging. And how you do it, let me quickly explain. Quick. Can't do it, but I will explain. You take your serviette that you cut. You first paint a layer of, let's pretend I'm doing it. We take the, I'm sorry, the dog is really, he needs to go out, I think. Sorry, it's a bit of a distraction. You paint the clear glaze on, take the serviette, place your serviette. Then you take a piece of plastic or cling wrap. You place it over the serviette. You take a soft cloth. You just rub it. Just rub it. And the serviette meshes into the hessian. It's magic. I'm not sure what the clear glaze does, but it's a magic product. You lift it up. You take then your brush again with the clear glaze and you just brush over it and you let it dry. It's as simple as that. It's the easiest thing to do. So we have that, we have these beautiful little round placemats. And we have, sorry, I'm out of frame again, but I just want to place it so that you can you see it, Liam? Mm-hmm. There's the angel. And here is the bigger Christmas tree. And here is the Christmas tree. And as I say, these two, you can swap around. You can have a look, as I showed you on the other side. So depending on what your mood is and what you want to be looking at, you can just place them as you like. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this live as much as I have. I apologize for our old dog making terrible noises in the background, but I think he's getting hungry. And I want to thank Liam for being the cameraman, and I want to thank all of you for joining us. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope I provided you with inspiration to go out and create your own Christmas decor. And I want to wish the Tjhoko family a blessed Christmas and a very happy, prosperous new year, filled with Tjhoko inspiration. Until next time, bye-bye.